Hello and welcome to our Improving Attendance Best Practices webinar. I'm Jonathan Dusing, one of the founders of FanMaker, and I'll be walking you through three primary ways FanMaker and you can improve attendance, both in how often people come and how they attend your events. There are three main ways that we're going to talk about today. The first being having a point strategy and developing a bonus games marketing plan. Next up, early arrival points and staying late bonus points. And then we'll talk about something that's kind of new, membership levels, and using those levels to offer exclusivity and priority to your fans. So first things first, why do we do all of this? By awarding points, we can change people's behavior. Historically, 46% of customers say they will increase their number of visits when a rewards program is in place. And we've seen those kind of numbers across our system as well. So the whole point is to use points to change people's behavior, to get them to attend more often, and to get them to attend in the way that you want them to attend. So fundamentally, you have to have some type of strategy for how you're going to score the points for your particular events. So there are three kinds of events in our world. Big games that you don't have to worry about too much because people are going to come anyways. Okay games that might be on an off day and might be with a non-marquee sport, for example, if you're a college and you have lots of different sports. And then, of course, what we're going to talk about today, bonus games. So when you have a big game, you need to give it the lowest number of points. That's your base. So a good example is 100 points. You don't really need to incentivize people to go to those games. So that could be a Saturday game, that could be a rivalry game. It's just some game where you have high demand. On games that you have lower demand for, they should be worth at least 2 times as many points as a big game. 2 or 3 times is a good number to go by. And that can be all your ancillary sports, all your Thursday night games, all your Sunday at 1 o'clock games, those kinds of things. And then we have bonus games. And what this is special games that are worth, we recommend, at least 5 to 10 times as many points as the big game. And these are games where you either have low demand or you just want to create a different atmosphere and target your attendance to try to boost things. And the best way to look at this is if you're a college, if you go to each of your coaches and say, okay, what's the big game or what's the game that you really want people to come out for? It could be a game that recruits are in town. It could be a game that they just really need to win. There's many different reasons, but if you have everybody choose 1 or 2 games in their entire season, what you can do is plan out ahead of time a whole year's worth of special bonus games. And you'll end up with 10 to 20 of these special bonus games that really will increase your attendance across the board. And these bonus games, they need to have some type of branding. You can't just have them worth 1,000 points. You need to give it some type of name. So a client that we've worked with for a long time, Florida State, has the Florida State Spirit Rewards program, and they have Florida State Spirit Rewards nights. And those are special nights that are worth 10 times as many points as all the other events. And when we measured this before and after year over year, we found that Florida State had a 32% increase in attendance year over year for students. Many of the Spirit Rewards games were sellouts, and especially with volleyball and soccer, actually put things into an overcapacity type situation. And that's all because they put some branding on it and had a very targeted effort. If everything's worth a lot of points, then nothing's worth a lot of points. But if you make just a select few things worth tons of points, you'll be able to target your attendance and use the energy that people have for some of the other sports to get people to attend some of the sports that might be less demand. So I'm going to show you some settings for that, the best practices on setting that up within the FanMaker admin. So this is just a fake event that I set up, and it's a soccer game. And right at the top here, you'll notice this is our first opportunity to call out the fact that we're calling this a paint it red bonus game. We're pretending this is Alabama here. And the first option here is within tags. And tags are basically categories for events. And inside the mobile app, we show all events, but a user can tap and say, okay, I want to look at just soccer games or just home games or just paint it red bonus games. And that's something that people will do, and then they can look at a list of just those games and really plan out their time and hopefully attend those events. So the first thing you should do is definitely add a tag for your your branded bonus games. Below that is the event description. So this is text that shows on the mobile app below the photo. So this is what in the mobile app, this is what an event looks like. And it's got different details, but below here is some text. And that's a great place to call out that this is a 10x bonus event. If it's, in this case, we're pretending it's painted red, so we want everybody to wear red shirts. So maybe if you wear a red shirt, you might get selected out of the crowd to move on down to the front row. Who knows? But whatever you got going on, that's a great place to put it, and I would definitely recommend using that. And as we move down here, setting up the actual points. So we have attendance points and bonus points. So everybody gets these two. This is just for going to the event. What we recommend is doing the base amount of points, like we talked about. The big game is worth 100 points. Use that in the attendance points pretty much always. And then when you have extra points, you put those in the bonus points. What that does is on the front end, on the apps and on the website, it'll call it out a little differently. There'll be a little star, and people will know that it's a bonus game and worth more points. Below that, something that's new, you can write a custom bonus message. And in this case, I'm saying it's a paint it red bonus game. And this shows up here. Below the time will be a star, and it'll have your message there. So it's just another awesome way to call that out so that everything is cohesive with your marketing. And then lastly, something that you might not know about is our event messaging. So we send a push notification as soon as somebody arrives in an event. That's a done deal. That's set up at the top of this page. But what we can also do is send a delayed message, a message that goes out to everybody who attended at some interval after the fact. And so what we've done here, I've set up one to go out 200 minutes after the event started. I'm just taking a guess. Let's guess the game's over. And it says, thank you for coming. Our next Paint It Red night is volleyball on Friday, and you can give a date and time and all that. And so this allows you to leverage one event for the next event. And so you definitely would do it on a Paint It Red night, but you could also do it on the big football game that's going on. You could say, hey, we're having a 10x point night in 2 days. And this is just a great way to just automatically send out those messages to those people.